So it appears that we're about 3 minutes away from our official start time here. Again, 43 competitors in our starting field. We'll be dragging here in our first class after the 22nd in the order.
We have a new leader right now.
So it does appear our first competitor now making their way from the schooling ring to the gate here. So we'll be getting started with our first competition shortly. Again, that'll be our $3,000 Christie's Hard Finance Meter 35 jumper. Immediate jump off format there with a time allowed of 62 seconds in the first round. That's obstacles 1 through 11, 13 jumping efforts with the combinations at 5AB and 7AB. After our riders complete that first round course of 375 meters, they'll move on to their jump off. That's fences 1, 2, 3, 4, 7AB, and 8. 260 meters of length on course there for the jump off with a time allowed of 45 seconds. So now ready to get underway here with our first competition of the day. The first competitor to join us in this starting field of 43 is number 288. 288, the identifying number for Donna D. Doles. Entry written by Allison Swartz-Swank for Kensington Farm. Identity, an 11-year-old male Saint Francais by Vagabond de la Pomme out of Paola du Terroir. Entry number 288. And there you go, a clear round to start us off. Auspicious trip for Allison Swartz-Swank and Donna D. Doles. 61.034 is the second. And so she'll advance now to the jump off here. Fences 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, A, B, and 8 with a 45-second time allowed. Best of luck, Ryder. And that'll be an 8-fault score here in the jump off. 32.570 is the time posted for Allison Swartz-Swank and Donna D. Doles. Countdown now underway here for our second competitor to work. That's going to be Mimi Gotchman in the irons. She's aboard Charlie Be Good. This horse owned by Mimi Snow Sport Horse LLC. Charlie Be Good, an 8-year-old Zonga shied by Cornet Obolensky out of Chana Zed. Based out of Miami, New York. Entry number 355. And that'll be an 8-fault score here in the first round, 61.953. That's the time for Mimi Gotchman aboard Charlie Be Good. Next to join us in this competition is number 347. Michelle Faitosa is at the controls of Cornet's Princess. Source owned by Gabrielle Fournier. Cornet's Princess, 9-year-old Zangashied by Cornet Obolensky out of Granada. Based out of Litchfield, Connecticut. Number 347. Ryder picks up 20 in the field, 2 on the clock there. 63.789 is the time posted by Michelle Faitosa aboard Cornet's Princess Z. Next contender here in our $3,000 Christie's Art Finance Meter 35 jumpers is Lauren Scowland riding VDL Stella. That's entry number 218. That'll be a 4-fault score for Lauren Scowland and VDL Stella. 56.199 was the time across the course. Next to see entry number 330, that's Margie Goldstein Engel. She's a pilot for this horse owned by Virginia T. Bartholomew, known as Taina M&M. Taina, an 11-year-old Hanoverian by Toulon out of Champions Cocktail, number 330. And unfortunately, our rider does come in just 0.8 of a second over that time allowed. 62.837 is the time posted for Margie Goldstein-Engel and Taina M&M. Entry number 455 is our next to go here in this competition. Hannah Selleck rides for Descanso Farm aboard Globo Hativia. Globo Hativia, a 15-year-old Belgian warm blood by Cardento out of Tativia, based out of Westlake Village, California, number 455. And that's a clear round for that horse and rider combination. 59.996 is the time for Hannah Selleck. And Globo Hativia now advancing to the jump off. So again, still seeking our first competitor to produce a double clean round here and be the pace setter for our meter 35 immediate jump off. A 4-fault score there for Hannah Selleck and Globo Hativia. 28.820 was the time for that horse and rider combination. So a very, very fast time there, and our fastest 4-faulter. Now approaching the first fence, entry number 216. That's Patrick Hamilton, owner-rider of Gatika Dubois de Mazui. 12-year-old warm blood, based out of East Windsor, Connecticut, number 216. And that'll be a 4-fault score for Patrick Hamilton aboard Gatika Dubois de Mazui, a time of 61.650 across the course. We'll see One Whisper next. This horse owned by 5 Roosters and ridden by Isabel Cox is assigned the number 341. One Whisper, an 11-year-old Irish sport horse by Daniel out of One Anye. Based out of Westlake Hills, Texas, number 341.
Hoy está más chingón, ¿no?
Sí, está más duro.
Ayer estaba más rudo.
Sí, estaba más aguado. Manteníamos casi toda la noche roleando.
And there's a clear round for Isabel Cox in One Whisper, now admitted into the jump off with a time of 59.708. Our next to try to produce a double clean ride here in our $3,000 Christie's Art Finance Meter 35 immediate jump off. And there's our first double clean competitor, Isabel Cox in One Whisper, 30.240. That'll be the time to chase here for the balance of our competition. Next to see here is entry number 109. Allison Robitaille is at the controls of Dagny. This horse owned by Allison Firestone LLC. Assigned the number 109, 10-year-old Swedish warmblood by Durant out of Bologna, Polona. Entry number 109. That'll be a clear round, 59.270. That's a time for Alison Robitaille aboard Dagny, and she'll be the first now admitted into the jump-off to chase that time set by our previous competitor of 30.240. And there's your new leader. First sub 30-second time double clean here goes to our rider, 28.550. That's a time posted by Alison Robitaille and Dagny. Moving on now to entry number 378. This will be the 10th competitor to go here in our meter 35 immediate jump off. 10th competitor assigned to number 378. And now, of course, here we have Derek Kenny riding for Vlock Show Stables aboard Eleanor. Eleanor, 9-year-old Hanoverian by Comme Il Faut 5 out of Sangria, based out of Wellington, Florida, number 378. And that's a clear round for this horse and rider combination, 58.795. So that will move into our jump off here. And that time to chase is 28.550. And that'll be a clear round here in the jump off with a time of 30.340. So at that time, our rider will move into third place as we welcome our next to go, number 207. 207, our 11th to see is Catherine Kubiak, riding for Over Fences Farm LLC aboard Lavelle Van de Middelstede. This is entry number 207. Our horse, a 13-year-old Belgian warm blood by Emerald van der Rottershof out of Eclipse van der Middelzed, based out of Barrington Hills, Illinois. And our rider finishes up with a 12-fault score. 57.823 is the time across the course for Catherine Kubiak aboard La Belle van der Middelzed. .353 identifies our next horse and rider combination. That's Tiffany Elmar and the irons aboard Click for Quality. Miss Mar, the owner rider of this mount, 15-year-old Swedish warm blood by Click and Cash out of Quesada, based out of Wellington, Florida, number 353. Riders does pick up 2 time penalties there, exceeding the time allowed, and 3 time penalties and exceeding the time allowed there in 64.109. That's the time for Tiffany Elmar and Click for Quality. Next rider representing Brazil, Rodrigo Pessoa aboard Giorgio de Lips. Centuries owned by Artemis Equestrian Farm, number 441. And a rider does unfortunately pick up that one-time penalty, 62.541. That's a time for Rodrigo Pessoa aboard Giorgio de Lips. Next to go is entry number 453. Philippa Amon is the pilot here for Zarina Divido, owned by Tempo Equestrian. This mount a 13-year-old horse by Diamante Semele out of Carina, 37. Based out of Hampton, Massachusetts. It's entry number 453. And that's a clear round there for Philippa Amon aboard Zarina Divido, and she has a time of 60.943. Advancing now to the jump off. Next to chase that time of 28.550 set by our current leader, Allison Robitaille, aboard Dagny. And our rider does pick up 4 penalties there at fence 4, 32.968. That'll move into the 5th position here in our rankings. Moving on to the rider in our 16th position in the order. That's Carolyn Mawhinney. She's riding Stella Vista. Miss Winnie, the owner rider of this mount. 16-year-old Hanoverian by Satisfaction out of Levad. Is based out of Wellington, Florida, number 416. And our rider does pick up 4 faults at that penultimate fence, 57.490. That's a time posted for Caroline Mawini aboard Stella La Vista. Countdown now underway here for entry number 273. That's Victoria Birdsall riding for Abigail S. Wexner aboard Las Lajas. Las Lajas, 8-year-old Dutch warm blood by Glenn Fittich VDL out of Burgraven. And that'll be an 8-fault score here, 59.651. Our rider lowering the header fences 5 and 9. And that will move out of our ribbons, unfortunately. Victoria Birdsall and Las Lajas. Tone now sounds for entry number 458, Lucy Huber, owner rider of Clarion SN. 14-year-old Swedish warm blood by Clarimo out of Urca Red Rose SN, based out of Mattapoisett, Massachusetts. It's number 458. And a clear round there for Lucy Huber and Clarion SN, 60.794. Now admitted into the jump off. This will be our 7th competitor joining us into the jump off, in fact. And the next to chase that time set by our current leader, Allison Robitaille Dagny, of 28.550. And that'll move into the 7th place position here. Correction, the 4th place position, 32.774. That's a time for Lucy Huber and Clarion SN. This horse identified by the number 250 is Quintan van der Rosova. Beatmont Lee is our rider here, owner rider in fact, of this mount. An 8-year-old Belgian warm blood by Vannon out of Princess Zed, number 250. This is the first of 5 here before we go on to our midway drag. That's a 4-fault score there for Beatmont Lee and Quintan. Time of 61.572. Unfortunately out of our ribbon positions as we move on to our next rider. That's number 375. Actually number 379. Stephen Moore riding for Oakland Ventures LLC aboard Diva Care FBH, number 379. Diva Careth, an 11-year-old Self-Francais by L'Arc de Triomphe out of Camellia Batilli Zed. And a time of 59.974 for Stephen Moore aboard Diva Cariff. That'll be our 8th competitor admitted into our tiebreaker round, and the next to chase that time of 28.550. And just behind the pace there, 29.203 for Stephen Moore and Diva Cariff. Behind our current leader by a little bit under a second there. '20th to see here in this competition is number 254. That's Hannah Barker riding for Grant Road Partners. She's mounted aboard Carbon Copy GR, number 254. Carbon Copy, 8-year-old Belgian warm blood by Vigo Darsui out of Petronas. Rider picks up 4 in the field, also an additional time penalty, 62.578 with 5 faults. That's Hannah Barker and Carbon Copy. Next contender here in our meter 35 immediate jump off is entry number 171. This will be the first of 2 before we move on to our midway drag break. It's Skylar Riley. She's aboard Booster 13. Horse owned by Wolfstone Stables and Sales. Booster 13, an 8-year-old Holsteiner by Barkley out of Online 9. Based out of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, number 171. And look at that time, folks, just within our TA, 61.862. That's the time for Skylar Riley and Booster 13, our 9th to join us here in the jump off. And the next to try to best that time of 28.550. And there you have it, a new leader to this class, 28.468. That's the time for Skylar Riley and Booster 13. Moving right to the top of our pack here, displacing Allison Robitaille and Dagny into second. Stephen Moore and Diva Karev now sitting in third. Isabel Cox and One Whisper in the fourth place position, with Derek Kenny and Eleanor in fifth. Entry number 201 will be the last to work here before we go on to our intermission. 201, the number that lists Vlugel de Vrijheid, written by Peter Leon for Lion Share Jumps LLC. 8-year-old Anglo-European by Quick 4 van Kokscholf out of Loren de Calvary, based out of Katona, New York. Entry number 201. And our rider will be jumping off here, Peter Leon and Vlugel de Vrijheid, in a time of 58.859, now admitted into the tiebreaker round, and they'll be the first to try to chase that time of 28.468 set by our previous competitor. So our rider does unfortunately pick up penalties at fence 7A and B for an 8-fault score, 27.213. That's the time for Peter Leon and Vlugel de Vrijheid, now moving into the 9th place position here. So we'll go on to a brief intermission at this time to refresh our footing in our international ring. We reached the 22nd position in our order, so we do have about 21 left to go here in our $3,000 Christie's Art Finance Meter 35 jumpers. Taking stock of our current rankings at this time, leading the class is Skylar Riley and Booster 13 with a time of 28.468. In second at this moment is Dagny and Allison Robitaille. Stephen Moore and Diva Karif in our third place position. Fourth place on our stagger is Isabel Cox and One Whisper. In fifth, Derek Kenny and Eleanor. Sixth is Claire and SN and Lucy Huber. Seventh, Hannah Selleck and Global Hativia. And in eighth at this time, Philippa Aman aboard Zarina Divido. So now ready to get underway here with our meter 35 immediate jump off class. Next to join us after the break is going to be number 298. Getting us restarted again, Tori Quartz. She brings to us semi-automatic. Semi-automatic, an 11-year-old Belgian warm blood by Amarado de Arco out of Rockstar. It's number 298. And an auspicious clear round here to start us off as we get back underway with our Christie's Art Finance meter 35 jumpers. A time of 60.552 was just posted by Tori Quartz in semi-automatic. And this will be the 11th joining us here for the jump off. Again, that time to best 28.468. Ryder picks up 8 in the field, 2 on the clock there. And that's a time of 58.7.807 for that horse and rider combination. That was Tori Quartz in semi-automatic. Next to see here will be number 271. Receiving the tone is BZ Madden aboard Mickey Kata, owned by John Madden Sales Incorporated. Mickey Kata, 7-year-old Dutch warm blood by a Golden Boy Hero Z out of GK Kata, based out of Cazenovia, New York. Entry number 271. And that'll be a 4-fault score there in a time of 58.509. The time posted by BZ Madden aboard Mickey Kara. '25th competitor to see here in this competition is Kara Jones, owner rider of Endgame, number 312. Source based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, 15-year-old warm blood by Chester Zed out of Badal Luna. Entry number 312. .60.322. That's the time for Kara Jones in Endgame. Our next admitted into the jump off, and our next to try to best that time of 28.468. And that'll be a 4-fault score here in the jump off, 32.881. So our previous competitor will move into the 8th place spot in our stagger as we welcome number 221. That's Allison Swartzwank aboard her second mount in this competition. This one is known as Divinetta Girl, number 221. Divinetta Girl, 11-year-old self-francais by Calvado out of Study Girl. Based out of Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, number 221. And that's a clear round there, 59.640 for Allison Swank and Divinetta Girl. So she'll move on now to our tiebreaker round. And the time to better there, 28.468. And a great quick time there, 28.909 posted by Allison Swank and Divinetta Girl, moving into the third place spot here. And add to this competition number 474, that's Lily Keenan aboard Emerlin. 27th to join us here in this competition. Clear round there, 60.317 for Lily Keenan and Emerlin. So she'll move into the decider round now, 28.468. That is the time to best. Good clear round there for Lily Keenan and Emerlin, 34.383. That's the time for that horse and rider combination. They'll be moved into the 8th place here in our rankings. Now approaching the first fence entry, number 457, Jessica Springsteen rides Don Juan Vandadonkova. Entry owned by Stonehill Farm. This horse, a 15-year-old Belgian warm blood by Bamako de Muse out of Diva Vandadonkova. Based out of Los Angeles, California, number 457. All rider does pick up 4 time penalties there. Jessica Springsteen aboard Don Juan Vandadonkova. Next up here is Lautaro Pena, riding for the Clover M Sport Horses aboard Little Lion Man, number 331. 8-year-old Dutch warm blood by Edulon Vidiel out of Aleva. Based out of Palo Alto, California, 331. And that's a clear round there for Lautaro Pena and Little Lion Man, 60.244. 15th to join us here in the tiebreaker round. And the next to go after that time of 28.468. And that'll be a 4-fault score, 29.130. That was the time for Lautaro Pena and Little Lion Man. So he'll move into the 10th place here in our rankings as we invite our next to work. believe this should be Catherine Kubiak aboard Argo Z, entry owned by Over Fences Farm LLC, number 208. Argo Z, 10-year-old Zongashied by Aska Z out of Deanna Z, based out of Barrington Hills, Illinois, number 208. And our rider does unfortunately get caught there by the time allowed, 62.207, just 0.2 of a second exceeding our time allowed here for Catherine Kubiak and Argo Z. Approaching the first fence is Milan Morsinkov, owner rider here of VDL Quicktago. 9-year-old won blind by Quickly de Krisker out of Stutbuk 1. Entry number 381. And that's a time of 58.372. So Milan Morsinkov and VDL Quicktago now admitted into the jump off, our 16th competitor to join the clear list. And our next to try to best that time of 28.468. And that's a time of 29.132 there for Milan Morsinkov and VDL Quicktago. Moves into the 4th place here on our stagger. So that does displace Stephen Moore and Diva Keref into 5th. Isabel Cox and One Whisper in 6th. Derek Kenny and Eleanor in 7th. With Lucy Huber and Clarion SN now sitting in the 8th place spot. "32nd to join us here in this class is Paul O'Shea riding for Volantis Partners aboard Volantis, entry number 399. And that's a clear round there for Paul O'Shea and Volantis, 60.542 as he crosses the timer. So that will be our 17th competitor added to the first round clear list. Next to go double clean in 28.468. And that's a time of 27.199 for Paul O'Shea and Volantis. And that's a 4-fault score for that horse and rider combination. Next up is Jerry Chu riding for E2 Show Jumpers aboard Very Chic du Tillard, number 167. Very Chic, a 15-year-old Cell Francais by Diamant de Semely out of Jumping Queen, 167. Caballeros, el número 7A. An 8-fault score for Jerry Chu and very chic du Tillard, lowering the height of fence 4 and 5A, 61.610. Moving up in the order here, entry number 152, that's Sophia Mitchell aboard Chuck Bass. Century owned by Mitchell Equine LLC, number 152. Chuck Bass, 13-year-old Odenberg by Centadel. Clear round there for Sophia Mitchell and Chuck Bass. That was a time of 60.159. Art 18th joining us here in the jump off. And that time to best, 28.468. And that'll be a 4-fault score, 32.322 for Sophia Mitchell and Chuck Bass. Entry number 215, our next to see Camille Marcuson riding for M. Michael Meller aboard Miracle. That's entry number 215. Miracle, 8-year-old Anglo-European sport horse by Iceman Amuse out of T. Emelusina 2, based out of Wellington, number 215. The time of 58.091 for Camille Marcuson and Miracle now advancing into the jump off. And that's a time of 30.124 for Camille Marcuson and Miracle. Moves into the 6th place here on our leaderboard. Next mount owned by 5 Roosters is known as Ninito PS, assigned the number 339. That's Isabel Cox aboard. Ninito, a 9-year-old Odenberg by Nintendo out of Diacenta, based out of Westlake Hills, Texas.
Dale, voy a ir en el 1.
And that'll be a 4-fault score for Isabel Cox and Ninito PS, 61.502.
Sí, güey.
Voy a
Acabo de hacer el cambio.
la caca.
Pues yo quisiera yo mandar, pero no queda bien.
As we get back underway here, we'll see entry number 249 go next. That's Beat Mandley aboard Gianni De Coco. Gianni De Coco, 8-year-old Swiss warm blood by Aganida Signor out of SM Costa. Number 249. And our rider does pick up one time penalty there, 62.135. That's a time for our Swiss rider here, Beat Mandley, aboard Gianni De Coco. Number 224 are next to see here, Philippa Amon riding for Amon Equestrian aboard Haroko Blue. That's number 224, Haroko Blue. 10-year-old Dutch warm blood by Ziroko Blue VDL out of Evi van de El Saker. Four faults scored there at the penultimate fence. And that'll be one time penalty as well there for that horse and rider combination. Picking up 5 faults, 62.723 for Philippa Amon and Haroko B. And the next to see here will be Chloe Louise Field aboard this horse owned by Haydenbrook Farm, Helita C, number 141. Helita C, 10-year-old Dutch warm blood by Etoulon VDL out of Annalita C, based out of Salt Point, New York. It's entry number 141. Series of penalties there at 4, 7A, and 8 for a 12-fault score, 61.332. That's the time for Chloe Louise Field aboard Helita C. Next up, the penultimate competitor joining us here in the $3,000 Christie's Art Finance meter 35 jumper. It's number 327. Margie Goldstein Angle rides Cessna M. That horse owned by Virginia T. Bartholomew, number 327. Cessna M, 12-year-old warm blood by Check-In out of Furiela. And that's a clear round there for Margie Goldstein Angle and Cessna M. 60.105 is the time posted for that horse and rider combination. So they'll move into the jump off, 20th competitor to do so. And 28.468 is the time to best here set by Skylar Riley aboard Booster 13. Four-fault score there for Margie Goldstein Angle and Cessna M, 30.801. That's a time for that horse and rider combination. This should be the final competitor to join us here in our meter 35 immediate jump off class, and that's going to be number 428. 428 identifies Consistent, brought to you by Daniela Kasline. Consistent, 14-year-old horse by Taylor Made Confidence out of Brokers Nicky, based out of Powell, Ohio. Number 428, last to go here in our $3,000 Christie's Art Finance meter 35 open jumpers. 61.025. That's the time for Daniela Kathleen. Board consistent. Last to join us here in the jump off, our 21st competitor moving into that tiebreaker round. And the last to attempt to best the time of 28.468 set by our current leader, Skylar Riley and Booster 13. And that's a clear round there for Daniela Kathleen, and consistent moves into 9th place here with a time of 32.225. Unfortunately, just outside of those ribbon positions. As we conclude our $3,000 Christie's Art Finance Meter 35 Open Jumpers. So we salute all the riders joining us here in the first competition on today's schedule. And we'll move on to this presentation shortly. So, stepping into the ring here, Sean Desiderio, the presenter for our $3,000 Christie's Art Finance Meter 35 Open Jumpers. With Christie's Art Finance, your passion is your greatest asset. The value of your fine art and luxury collection goes beyond the extraordinary beauty and craft the objects possess. Christie's Art Finance helps you maximize the potential of your assets. Powered by the trusted specialist expertise and unrivaled market intelligence at Christie's, the world's leading art and luxury business, Christie's Art Finance offers bespoke, asset-secured loan solutions that fit your needs at a speed and flexibility unique to us. Stop by our VIP table to get started on your borrowing journey, or visit us online at christies.com. So a big thanks here to Christie's Art Finance, the sponsors for our $3,000 Meter 35 Open Jumpers. And now in the ring at the podium, Allison Swartz-Swank, aboard Divinetta Girl, taking home our 3rd place honors here in our Meter 35 Open Jumpers. Big round of applause here to this horse and rider combination with a time of 28.909, taking home our 3rd place prize in this competition. And now walking into the ring here, folks, please put your hands together to the recipient of our 2nd place honors. That's Allison Robitaille and Dagny. She held on to the lead there, our 2nd competitor to produce a double clean ride here in the 9th position of our class. Finishing up in the 2nd place spot here in our competition as we move on to the recipient of our 1st place award. And folks, a big round of applause here to Skylar Riley and Booster 13. 28.468 was the time posted by that competitor. 21st competitor to join us here in the arena, besting a field of 41 competitors. That's Skylar Riley and Booster 13. And you see her mount outfitted with that beautiful Silo Ridge cooler there. The winner of our class, Booster 13 and Skylar Riley, taking home the top honors here in our $3,000 Christie's Art Finance Meter 35 Open Jumpers. Just one last task to attend to, and that's to ask her to lead us off on a lap of victory. Big congratulations to Skylar Riley and Booster 13, taking home our second place prize. Allison Robitaille and Dagny. In third is Allison Swartztank and Divinetta Girl. Fourth place award going to VDL Quictago and Milan Morsinkov. In fifth is Stephen Moore and Diva Care FBH. Sixth place prize goes to Camille Markison and Miracle. Taking home the seventh place ribbon is Isabel Cox and One Whisper. And rounding out our top 8 placings, Irish rider Derek Kenny aboard Eleanor. So once again, a big congratulations here to Skylar Riley and Booster 13, taking home our top prize in the $3,000 Christie's Art Finance Meter 35 Open Jumpers. So now we will begin our adjustments to the second class here in today's schedule. That's our $2,000 Storm Ridge Capital Meter 25 Open Jumpers. This competition falling under the 2-1 speed format. And taking a look at our course, it'll feature fences 1 through 11, 13 jumping efforts with combinations at 7AB and 10AB, a 69-second time allowed there. And it looks like we'll have a total of 34 competitors in our starting field.
We have a new leader right now.
So again, folks, 40 competitors joining us here for the $2,000 Storm Ridge Capital Meter 25 Open Jumpers. Have been informed that we will be dragging the arena after the 21st competitor in our starting order. That's going to be Marlene Hart and Simona VS. So keep that in mind here. We'll be going to that midway drag after the 21st competitor to join us here on the order of go.